Corpse Party is a game developed by Who Cares. It was released on Who Gives a Shit. The history surrounding this game can suck a dick. All I know is this game sucks. I'm telling you right now that I'm not gonna show mercy on this game, so click off now if you don't want someone to destroy your fondness of this game. Everything about this game sucks. Story, writing, yeah, the story and writing are separate. The story is the overall plot while the writing is how the characters talk to each other. You know, dialogue, because there is plenty of stupid lines that I just can't believe it was written by actual humans, and other humans love this shit. I probably need to make an entire separate video on why the lines in this game are unbelievably dumb and dumber. This makes me think whether or not I'm actually from this world and was abandoned by my alien parents that put me here to suffer for the crime of being born. Characters, gameplay, game design, music sucks. It's like the same music on loop all the time, and sometimes there's no music at all. Sound effects are terrible. What's funny to me is that the voice acting was pretty good at first, but as the game went on, it felt like the voice actors didn't give a crap anymore. I'll go more into detail to that soon. You don't believe me? Then let's get to it. We're gonna go balls deep in this shit and dissect the hell out of this Corpse Party. By the way, I curse too much? Well, this channel was never made to appeal to everyone. This is for those who aren't bothered by the cursing. We're all grown-ups here, hopefully. If you're not, go away. No children allowed. Why the hell are your parents letting you watch this shit? I already gave a warning that I won't be kind to this game, and then I'll be hearing someone say, then don't play it. How am I supposed to critique something I haven't experienced yet? I can't just believe someone at face value and say, yeah, I have the same opinion as you even though I never played or experienced that thing that you're critiquing. Anyway, it feels like not swearing holds me back from unleashing what I truly feel about anything. If you can't deal with that, then see ya. No way in hell am I gonna change for something I don't feel comfortable with. I will mention the things that I like, the things that I hate, the things that could have improved upon, which is like everything. And I talk a lot of shit at this game, but there's a reason why I do. If the game wasn't so incompetently done, then I wouldn't have a problem. I'd be happy swearing, fuck yeah, but instead I'm angry swearing, fuck you, because every right decision that they could have made, they instead chose the wrong one all the fucking time. All the fucking time, this fucking game. The game has this intro music video, which is cool. Not gonna play that because it got copyright claimed way back when I released the first version of this video. It's good, although the video spoils a lot of what happens in the game, especially if anyone paid attention to it. Then again, who gives a shit, since you've already seen it. I also like it because it was sung by Asami Imai. She voiced Ayumi Shirazaki, my favorite character. And it's a sad day when I declare with glee that Ayumi, of all the characters in this game, is my favorite. What the? She's number 2 on top 10 Corpse Party characters? Are you guys for real? Yoshiki's number 1? Are you all kidding me? Already this game is pissing me off. The game starts with the best character, Ayumi, telling a scary story. I'll talk about why she's the best character later at some point or whatever. Something about a ghost is gonna come from that door and everybody wants Satoshi to answer it. Going off topic a bit, I had my expectations way up high when I heard that this game is a horror masterpiece. A game that everybody should play. The game that when it came out, everyone and their great-grandma praised the living hell out of and would convince other people to play this game. A game that is still praised to this day by new Let's Players and audiences on how scary this game is. I didn't buy into that shit simply because the people that spouted their cult-like behavior creep me the fuck out. Everywhere I go, friends, classmates, and even siblings would try to convince me to play it. I wonder whatever happened to those guys. They're probably living a better life than I ever could. I mean, I'm not the one making a crappy video on a game that came out decades ago. I think I have issues. Aside from that, there was just something about this game that smelled like bullshit. And trust me when I say I've smelled the same bullshit before. Oh, hello, another. You'll have your day soon. Spoiler. Another sucks. Here's a little bit of why. A teaser, if you can call it that. If everything is creepy, then nothing is. Oh, and... No one talks like that. Are you kidding me? Are you for real? Back to Corpse Party. So there are characters here. Let's say I'm new to this. I have no idea who, what, when, where, and why. I'm being forced by everybody to answer the door which the scary voice is coming from. Now, this could have been the greatest game ever if the game didn't constantly insult the player's intelligence. The classroom has 2 doors. First, the door with the scary voice, a guarantee that humiliation or certain death may be behind that thing. Second, the door all the way over here. A safe place to open since everybody's agreed that the first door is dangerous, but they still wanted it to be open though. Why? What I wanted to do was to use my brain and open the second door, which is way safer than the obviously haunted first door, but instead the game says, don't do that. Why can I not open this one? If I do open this one, Won't I also see whoever is behind on the first door in a safe place away from danger? Instead, the game punishes you for being smart or have a basic functioning brain. The game says, no, smart people aren't allowed here. Choose this one, dipshit. Is this not enough reason to swear at this game? Trust me, we're still at the bottom of the swear jar. Wouldn't it be awesome if the game rewarded you because you used your brain than just simply doing what the game wants? With a new cutscene where Ayumi and Miss Yui are like, oh, you found out about a prank, no fair, and make you feel good because you didn't fall for their obvious trick and not get humiliated to the nth degree. Instead, we're forced to open the door because of peer pressure, get scared by Miss Yui, humiliated and laughed at by everyone. What a welcoming atmosphere. After suffering through that humiliation, you can get up now, Satoshi. Stop lying on the floor like a stupid idiot. Please, you are embarrassing. So these are the Kisaragi students and teacher. I'm expecting that the game will now introduce us to these characters. Okay, that animation hug from Yuka is adorable. So the game now introduces Yuka as Satoshi's little sister, and what about everyone else? So they're talking to each other, but as a player. As someone who's not actually in the group and it's my first time seeing these people, they are total strangers to me. So they talk and talk like totally close friends, whereas I, someone detached, someone new to the Corpse Party gang, someone who is outside looking in, is left watching these strangers interact and be friendly with each other. Fast forwarding their useless dialogue. Why should I care about strangers talking? They aren't introduced properly. Why should I keep listening to them? I hate eavesdropping. I feel unwelcomed. Because of that, I don't see the point of paying attention to these people that I know nothing of, but I still did in order to justify my statement that this game sucks. This makes me appreciate silent protagonists in RPGs. Since they never talk, the game wants you, the player, to explore the world and talk to the people that live there. We get to know the world, we get to know who we are, what our purpose is, who's the bad guy, save the world, and all that good stuff. Man, Shining Force is such a good game. This game leaves us out. It doesn't give a shit. It's already an RPG style game. Why can't we talk to the characters first to get to know them properly? Who knows? Who cares? I do! I'm the one playing your fucking game. They do the Sachiko charm. They take a paper man, chant Sachiko will beg of you 9 times, then rip the paper man up. Somehow an earthquake happens and, well, welcome ladies and gentlemen to a new segment that I like to call This is Dumb, where I point out that this is dumb. So during an earthquake, everyone just stands there. That's dumb. Why didn't they move like any other normal person would during an earthquake? That's dumb. So they talk about how scary the earthquake is and none do something about it to save themselves. That's dumb. They can't move because of the dialogue. That statement is dumb. Move first to the appropriate and safe location and then show your stupid fucking dialogue. Don't tell me this is a game development limitation. The earthquake makes a massive hole and somehow they're floating in midair. That's dumb. They kind of fall but stop again in midair because the characters have something to say. That's dumb. You could make an argument that there are limitations when the game was made. That is still dumb. If there are limitations, then work around those limitations instead of letting the players see how stupidly dumb and embarrassing this earthquake scene is. This is dumb. The solution to this utter travesty is, instead of an earthquake, why not just have some dark energy rise up from the floor and they slowly get consumed by it? That way the characters still have time to talk, instead of stopping in mid-air and have a conversation. See how not dumb that sounds? If you really are insistent about the earthquake thing happening, instead of having full conversations, just have a cutscene of Yuka and Satoshi fall with no dialogue until they disappear. Let the action play out and speak for itself. Have an audio of Yuka and Satoshi screaming is good too. No need to include the dialogue box of once they are out of the scene, only then will the dialogue show something like Satoshi and continue the dialogue from there. Then when they all fall and the cutscene is done, then show the dialogue of them all screaming. That's how you work around a game development limitation, because that's so fucking hard. If talking stops them from falling, then don't stop talking. See how this is super dumb? Thank you for joining me with this new segment called This is Dumb. I hope to never host it again. After that, we now play as Naomi. She says she's got a sprained ankle, keep that in mind. Somehow the lights turn on, implying that there's electricity in the supposedly haunted school. Why there's electricity makes no goddamn sense. It's never explained. No one wonders why. Isn't the school separate from the present world? Since when did the haunted school entirely separate from the present world has its own working electricity? Are there worker ghosts too? Do they have haunted power plant that powers up haunted schools and haunted buildings? Do the ghosts wish that they die again instead of living a mundane death of powering stupid haunted places? Is this their punishment? Is this their own personal hell? If I were to change this in a way that makes sense, it would be that remove the electricity altogether. The light comes from the moon shining brightly. Since the haunted school is full of holes on the floors, it is enough to have lights in other rooms. Not all rooms though. We can already see in the room where Naomi and Seiko are that there are huge holes on the floor of the classroom, so it would make sense that their light source would come from the moon. As for rain, have a transparent ceiling that shields it from the rain. The school is so old and destroyed that previous victims use whatever materials are available to fix the ceiling and protect them from the rain. I like to imagine that the previous students, or let's say victims, were busy preparing for their cultural festival. They had like a pile of huge durable plastic sheets, transparent ceiling tiles or something. They used those materials to fix the ceiling and protect them from the rain. Then one of them suggested to do the Sachiko charm. Also have a note that was left behind by the previous victims that explains exactly that for the player to know why the school is so bright, yet they aren't being rained upon or rained on, which is grammatically correct, I don't know. I've explained the lights are so easily, while Corpse Party just says, fuck it, it's because of magic or some garbage. So yeah, I call bullshit on this game immediately. It would be different if the haunted school was never separated from the goddamn present world. After moving forward for a bit, Naomi sees Seiko lying on the ground. Instead of pushing the chairs away, that doesn't make sense. Why the hell are the chairs enough of a barricade to stop Naomi from going to Seiko? Move them with your hands. Push them. Are you that of a wuss to not use the least amount of force? Instead of chairs, why not have a huge hole instead? That makes much more sense than those fucking chairs as a fucking no trespass zone. We're forced to go outside. Walking in the darkness, Naomi trips, which makes her sprained ankle worse, and yet her walking speed is the same as it was. It would make much more sense if the sprite was limping or the movement slowed down quite a bit. The little details are what makes a great game. We don't get that here, unfortunately. We now encounter our first notes. Now these notes inform the player of what happened in the past, which is actually boring to read through all of them and pokes more plot holes in the Swiss cheese of a game. These notes include reports of missing children. Keep that in mind. You're gonna love hearing about missing children are being reported all the fucking time in this fucking school. We enter the classroom to check up on Seiko. Remember, we're never properly introduced to these characters, so I'm playing a stranger who's checking up on another stranger. The only thing they have in common is that I don't care for the both of them. They both discovered that they're in the Heavenly Hosts Elementary, or other Corpse Party media call it the Tenjin School or whatever. I'd like to call it Tenjin because Heavenly Hosts is just too fucking long. This is the haunted school that was demolished and was replaced by Kisaragi Academy, their school. After skipping through dumb dialogue, this happens, and this is one of the most bullshit things I've ever seen in a game that prides itself in its storytelling, or what most people claim it as anyway. Now, instead of the game seamlessly introduce the player to these characters that doesn't break immersion from the story, the game decides to immediately break immersion from the story by doing the laziest way possible of introducing characters. We now control an eye thing while all of the characters are lined up like fucking morons. We select one, and here we see who these people are. This is the laziest type of introduction I've ever seen. This is the kind of thing that should be in the extras, not in the main game. How much of a lazy fucking storyteller do you have to be in order to approve this brain-dead character introduction of a game? If the game is lazy and doesn't care enough to introduce these characters properly, why should I give a flying fuck about these assholes? Take Danganronpa for example. What is Danganronpa? It's a murder mystery game. Before any of the murder mystery happens, the game spends a lot of time in getting you to know these characters. It lasts about 1 to 2 hours of dialogue in order for you to care for all the characters present. To be fair to Corpse Party, which is rare, it would be weird if everybody in the game that already knows each other has to introduce themselves again for the player's convenience. That's stupid and immersion breaking. In order for Corpse Party to have a smooth and seamless character introduction from the start, there should be a new character that will be introduced to the group, which in turn be introduced to the player. The game should have used Yuka to introduce everybody to her, one by one. It makes much more sense because Yuka doesn't know these characters. They each introduce themselves to Yuka, which in turn introduces them to the player. Seamless, smooth, and it's not dumb. Unlike that character introduction is like a read it yourself kind of introduction, like reading a boring fucking manual. It's dumb, unappealing, and I'd rather skip it altogether, but I read it anyway because I want my bitching to be as legit and backed up with facts as much as possible. Reading through all their character introductions felt like reading a trope, which is absolutely boring. What's worse is that they never do anything interesting with the trope. For example, Yuka starts out as a spoiled little sister that wants to be pampered by her big brother. She's the princess of the Uchida household according to the stupid fucking character introduction. When she gets separated from him, she is forced to stop relying on him and believe in herself. She has to face everything on her own. I was genuinely interested that her character arc was her finally able to rely on herself and that she can stand on her own in front of her big brother instead of always being beside or behind him, and they would finally become equals. But the game shits all over that. When they get reunited, she reverts back to being the spoiled little sister that says nothing but big brother, big brother, big fucking brother. Who else? Mayu is this girl who gets killed? I really don't care because I don't know her well enough to give a crap about her. She's obviously important to her friends, but to me, who gives a shit? Corpse Body Book of Shadows explores more of Mayu's character. Unfortunately, this isn't Book of Shadows. Irrelevant. By the way, she's Fleck. She's a new character in my character's lore, universe, whatever. Yep, she's a character here now that helps you with stuff. Who cares about character introductions anyway? Let's just let characters appear out of nowhere and expect everyone to just accept this as is. Great writing. The teacher is there for the sake of being killed too. She appears in chapter 1, we briefly get to use her in chapter 2, disappears and later reappears near the end of the game. Honestly, I forgot about her existence. Great writing. Okay, I'm not gonna finish each character introduction. They're all dumb in a nutshell. After that tedious dialogue, we can now control Naomi, which makes no sense whichever way you look at it. First of all, Naomi has a sprain on her ankle. It makes no goddamn sons of bitchin' sense to make her move like she isn't affected by the sprain at all. Since everybody universally hates it when a character is slow, it would make much more sense that we use Seiko's sprite instead of Naomi's. She's the one that has the healthy legs. She's the one that doesn't have a sprain. Simply replacing Naomi's sprite with Seiko will remedy the limping and slow moving Naomi. Wow, that type of change drastically improved the game a lot. Am I wrong? If I am, then tell me, how the hell am I wrong? We find a board to fill this gap that looks like it could be easily jumped by whatever. It's a game. However, I can't retrieve that board again. Why not? I was able to pick it up before with a sprained ankle. Now I can't. This is bullshit. We see a lone candle that is also a save point. There is an explanation why there is this candle here. There is no explanation why this candle doesn't melt though. I've made some theories that could answer this. First, it's a game. Wow, how immersive. A candle that never melts because the only explanation that can be given is because it's a game. That's stupid. What does the candle do? It produces light and heat. It also fucking melts. I've never heard of a candle that never melts unless it's one of those toy candles that you need batteries for. Going ahead for a bit, there is a crystal in chapter 2. Yoshiki also states that Ayumi likes those kind of stones. She collects them. Instead of the candle, why not use those crystals as save points instead? The explanation for the candles being there is that Ayumi leaves all those candles in the school. I don't know how many candles she has, but why would anyone bring a bunch of candles? There's a stupid line that explains that out of nowhere. It makes much more sense if Ayumi used the crystals or stones instead. First of all, I already established that the light source should come from the moon. The light reflects on those crystals and then bam! No one has an excuse to not see those crystals glow. It also makes a lot more sense for Ayumi to carry a bunch of shiny stones. It's smaller, lighter to carry, and I imagine it to not take up too much space on the pockets, unlike a bunch of fucking candles, candle holders, and a matchbox or lighter. The game also states that Ayumi collected them in the first place. I wouldn't be complaining if she had a pouch for the candles in her character portrait, but there isn't, or at least a fucking backpack. I went through so much turmoil just explaining how stupid the candle is as a save point. I think I'm cursed to notice the little things that are bullshit. Second, time does not exist in the game, as in everything they do or how long they stay at school stays exactly the same because time does not exist. As for evidence to back up my theory, there are fresh bloodstains on the urinal, but that's simply an image. Need more decisive evidence. There is Sachiko's dress. It used to be a white dress, but because the game wants to be stupid scary, the white dress has become red from all the fresh blood. That is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. If time did exist, then the red dress would have turned into a brown dress since dried up blood becomes brown unless I'm colorblind. Also going ahead again in chapter 4, we get Ryo's tongue and it's bloody. The game never said it was dried blood, but it is stained liberally with blood. Since this curse has been going on for decades and yet the tongue is still bloody, I guess time does not exist in this game. The blood never dried. However, time does exist in the game. We see skeletons that imply that much time had passed in order for the flesh to decay and became completely skeleton. We see Satoshi and Yuka go hungry. That indicates that some time had passed. If time did not exist, then they should not feel fatigued or hungry at all. Am I wrong in thinking that? In chapter 1, Naomi discovers a bucket with meat and maggots, and earlier we hear flies when we discover someone's guts on the wall. Since maggots become flies, then that means some time had passed in order for the maggots to become flies? This game sucks flying dick. There's also the pool and everything else. Completely dirty and disgusting, dirt accumulates over time, which indicates that there is time in this school. God damn it. What if time does not exist in the school and anything related to it? The reason why skeletons are there is because the previous victims ate each other. That would explain Satoshi and Yuka's hunger. Time does not exist in the haunted school, but time does exist for its victims. However, that would not explain why the candles do not melt. The candles came from Ayumi. It is not part of the school, so the candles should melt, but they don't. This is so unbelievably stupid. Would you also leave a candle lit in a school and its floor that are made of wood? It's like leaving an ice cube in a room made of fire. You might accidentally start a fire here, so having the same amount of candle holders present, how many candle holders do you got on her anyways? What the fuck? So, compiling all the information we have, adding that to 2 times 5, I've come to the conclusion that I don't fucking know. I think they should have used the glowing crystals as a save point instead. Someone might point out, well, what about that scene with Ayumi and Yoshiki sharing the candle together as warmth? That's a cute scene. Sure, you can have that scene. Use that candle to further the story. And instead of using the candles as a save point, Ayumi would use those shiny stones like breadcrumbs, like in the classic story of Hansel and Gretel, except she leaves stones, one for each room they visit. She'll say something like, I'll leave this crystal here in this room to show that we've been here before. A great excuse to have much needed save points since this game is bullshit with its wrong ends. These are easily manageable problems that can be fixed immediately by someone with no talents or experience such as I. And also, if the game ever thought to think first instead of writing something so stupidly scary for the sake of being stupidly scary, which is not at all fucking scary. Were people actually paying attention to this game at all? Where was I? We go down to Sarah Sego comments that this really was an elementary school, even though in the first part she read that this place is Tenjin Elementary. I understand denial, but this game has so much stupid dialogue about in denial, it's fucking ridiculous. This shouldn't be happening, but it is though. This can't be happening, but it is though. You are literally in the middle of a fucking earthquake and all you can say is, this can't be happening. Are you dumb as much as you're stupid? Is this for real? Yes, it is. You are literally experiencing it right now. How do you deny something that is actually physically harming you and everyone around you? It can't be. Yet it can be. It can't be, can it? Yes, Naomi, it can be. This type of denial dialogue goes on and on. Just pads the game out, fills in the needed quota on a visual novel type game. I can forgive 1 or 2 instances of denial dialogue or if a character has been established to be absolutely delusional, but a million of them? Fuck that, man. Seiko mentions that her family must be hungry by now. Finally, we finally get to know one of the characters here. She acts like a mom in the family because her real mom is dead. She then says that it's the same for Naomi since her mom's waiting for her. Hallelujah. We're finally getting to know these characters. Wait, that's it? Are you fucking me without my consent? This is madness! Just when I thought the game is doing something right, it puked shit all over me. Why couldn't they have talked more about themselves instead of useless fucking dialogue like, I just have to get back to them though. Like, no shit! That's obvious. What was the other plan? Stay here and wait for death to come instead? Are you the complete epitome of stupid? This type of dialogue which always state the fucking obvious is annoying. It doesn't add anything, it's just useless dialogue that adds to the word count and says nothing but the obvious, which is already fucking obvious. Or did the game insult the player's intelligence again? Fuck you. I bet a lot of others usually skip the dialogue just because it's completely fucking stupid, repetitive, and obvious. Or maybe it just sounded fancy and everyone never really thought about it. There's a locked door and no place else to go, so we go back. We cross the gap, but oh no, the floor breaks, but the loose board didn't conveniently fall. I guess it's able to defy all gravity. It's stupid. Would have made much more sense if I was able to carry the loose board with me from the start and once we cross that gap. Only then will the floor break, showing the player that someone or something is literally playing with their lives. But the game wants you to play by its own stupid fucking rules that we never know or was even established. The game's also stupid for asking, do you want to pick up the loose board? Is it that fucking obvious though? Does the game have a plan B if the player decides against on picking up the loose board? Of course it doesn't. Don't ever give choices that have no consequences at all. Great game design. We go up and place the loose board in the gap, but we can't take it again with us. It's fucking stupid. There's a huge entrance that looks welcoming. We go in to see chairs block the way. It would have made more sense if it were boulders, but they got uncreative and used chairs because it was easier to copy paste assets than to make new ones. The game stated that there are piles of rubble, and yet they didn't bother to even easily replace the chairs with fucking rubble. This place is just a dead end. Thanks, game, for fucking nothing. There's a voice that says, please wait. At first, I thought it was the game loading. Turns out it was nothing. Just some failed attempt at building a scary atmosphere. Failure, game. For shame. We now go to Classroom 2A. Naomi screams because she saw bones. Seigo confirms this by screaming too. But they're a stubborn bunch and decide to touch it to confirm if it's true. Even though they're in a haunted school and they also experienced the earthquake, does the paranormal stuff, but whatever. After the bones were touched inappropriately, the spirit comes and explains shit. Why else would it come out now? Why didn't it come out before? Something had to have happened to the spirit that made him come out, right? Guess it really wanted it to be touched inappropriately. The ghost appears and says that he was brought here against his will? That immediately contradicts the Sachiko charm. You need to willingly do that charm and have willing participants. If that ghost was brought here by force, then what's stopping any other ghost from bringing anyone else here? This is completely fucking stupid. The ghost says that this place is a cursed multi-dimensional nexus, multiple planes of existence, all piled on top of one another, created by powerful, vengeful spirits. Don't know why a sandwich came to mind when he said on top of one another. These powerful, vengeful spirits are full of shit and have nothing else better to do. What a bunch of fucking morons. If they're vengeful spirits, then what is stopping them from taking revenge on the ones that killed them? If they could create this Deus Ex Machina bullshit school of plot convenience, then use your fucking powers and Dragon Ball the fuck out of the one that killed you. Instead, let's drag innocent people here. But why? After thinking for hours, the answer that I've come to conclude is that this game is stupid and doesn't ever think about whatever it is it's writing. The real reason is absolutely fucking stupid, by the way. Not gonna say it for now. This game is only focused on scaring first-time players into thinking and deceiving it's actually scary. But it actually isn't, because when someone actually reads your stupid fucking dialogue in the game, everything scary about it falls flat in a pile of putrid anal vomit. This dialogue I found hilariously stupid. Closed space, or perhaps closed spaces. What's the difference? You just added an S to the word space. Are you stupid? How does that add anything to the overall plot, to overall anything in this fucking game? I was gonna ask if you had a brain, but by simply looking at you, obviously you don't. The ghost says we're victims of an inescapable abduction even though we weren't abducted. We did the Sachiko charm that transferred us here. This dialogue is so fucking unbelievably stupid. This is just fucking chapter 1 and it's already fucking dumb as fuck. It's interesting because the ghost mentions that he senses numerous others. Nami thinks, does that mean everybody else is here too? Who else would be? Weren't they all in the earthquake shit scene together? If Seiko is with you, then of course everybody else would be. I don't know what to say except for this is stupid fucking dialogue. Seiko then interjects the obvious. So our friends are in the school too? Have you all realized that they're just repeating what the other guy just said? This is so fucking stupid. The game constantly gives this redundant fucking dialogue, bloats the already bloated useless dialogue count, and slows down the plot. The ghost says he senses the others, but he doesn't know the exact number. How can you sense them then? How can you say that there are numerous others here if you don't know the exact number? How can the spirit tell if it's numerous or not? For all I know, one person's presence is like a blur. By having a thicker and wider blur, then that means there are others here. The game never clarifies that, so this makes no goddamn sense. Someone just kill me now. If I were to point out every single stupid fucking dialogue, we'd be here till my dad comes back home with milk. This type of dialogue that points out the obvious is fucking insulting and a waste of game time and real life time. It points out the fucking obvious and nothing of substance would be lost if it was cut out of the game at all. Have you noticed how redundant I was? That's exactly what this game does. So let's move on. The door opens and there was another ghost in a red dress in the room after all. Scary? They scream at the ghost even though... Oh no. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a segment called This is Dumb, where we point and laugh and say, that's dumb. They scream at the girl in red even though they were previously talking to a ghost. That's dumb. They run outside. I don't see any reason on why they shouldn't try to talk to the girl because the previous ghost proved that they can be talked to. That is dumb. We can now control them and the game wants us to go back from the place we ran away from, the place that we avoided for our safety. Shouldn't we continue to avoid the possible dangerous room? That is dumb. By the way, they ran outside. It looks like the game completely forgot about Naomi's sprained ankle again. That is dumb. We interact with shelves and this guy appears. How many ghosts are there that are put in the shelves, or is this game just lazy and copy pasted the same ghost? That's dumb. There's now a candle in the room. That's dumb. There's a note with red text that says, I'm going to kill you. That's dumb. What's stopping the vengeful ghosts from killing them right now? What are the vengeful ghosts waiting for? Instead of informing the victims that they will be killed, why not kill them now? That is so dumb. Outside and walk some more. There's a note that says, admit it, you hate all your friends. Eventually you'll kill one another. That's dumb. Who's this for? Previous victims? You'd think they were talking and fighting one another, but instead they took the time to write stupid fucking notes and paste them on the walls. That is dumb. The game has so many notes with scary words on them. That's so dumb. Instead of notes actually helping world building or how the school and ghosties function, the game chooses to write on the notes stupid fucking words that hopefully will sound scary. That is dumb. The notes could have been used like an informative diary. For example, they find a note that says, Day 1, we walked around and hear our friends' voices, but we never seem to meet up. Explore the school, find another note. Day 4, we discovered fresh corpses. They don't have the same uniforms as us. It looks like there was a fight. This diary shows that there are other students here from different schools, not just them. Again, Day 7, a ghost talked to us. It looks like there are non-hostile ghosts here. Those blue spirits can be talked to. Those that glow red are dangerous. See how that makes much more sense? Day 10, we discover another person crying. In his mouth, pieces of flesh. We ran away from him because he might kill us. us and eat us next. Not only is it scary, but it also informs the player on what had happened previously to the others, and it also helps with the world building. Instead, we get scary words written on wasted potential. That is dumb. That is super dumb. Thank you all for joining me for This Is Dumb. See you next week. I wanna die. We go up, we can immediately see that a loose board is needed. Since we already had used a loose board before, I went back to try and get that loose board from before to be used for that path. As expected of a terribly designed game, we can't simply use that loose board from before. The game doesn't want us to use our brains. Great game design. We go down to see lights dim and see lots of blood and guts on the wall. We move on and the light fades in for some stupid fucking reason. It looks like the loose board to be used for that path upward is over there. I fail to see the difference on the two loose boards. Both have the same function. Why can't I use both? Great game design. Since we're already down here, let's continue on. More stupid fucking dialogue and notes that I'd rather not mention because of time constraints. I go back up. I remembered about the loose board. I use it, move forward, and the ghost was following us. That's stupid. The ghost had every chance to kill us and yet does nothing. It does completely nothing like this game's brain. Enter the boys' room, open this cubicle for a cheap jump scare. It's so annoying. I fail to see how that builds atmosphere. Enter the girls' room, nothing interesting here. We go out and Seiko says she needs something for her butt. We just came out of the girls' room and now you want to go back there? That's annoying. Great game design. I decide to get away from Seiko, but then we hear Yuka's cry. Instead of urgently coming to her aid, we wait for Seiko to finish hydrating her ass. Now we run off to Yuka's aid finally. Unfortunately, due to probably stupidity, Naomi trips again, thus making us remember that she had a sprained fucking ankle. Well, how about that? After talking about her ankle, which feels like 5 years worth of wasted time, we finally take back control of Naomi instead of switching to Seiko's sprite. But why? Sometimes I'd rather shove my head up an elephant's asshole. We go back down in Classroom 5A. There's this stupid minigame where you place Seiko in the right spot so that the teleporting thing is captured. Don't know why the thing doesn't teleport anywhere else, but whatever makes the game easy. That teleporting thing turns out to be the infirmary key. Never in all my life have I heard of a teleporting key, let alone a teleporting infirmary key. This is such a stupid minigame. Since the game has already shown that there are child spirits here, it would make much more sense if a playful child spirit wanted to play and said that if we're able to catch him, he'll give us a prize. Same game mechanics, but instead of a teleporting key, it will be the ghost doing the teleporting. Once we catch him, he says, "Thanks," disappears, and the key will be on the floor for us to pick it up. A teleporting key is fucking stupid. Not only that, we did it while Naomi has a sprained ankle. It's so stupid. Wouldn't it make much more sense if Naomi was the one who waited and Seiko is the one who goes to the other side of the room? Since Naomi has a sprained fucking ankle, how many times do I have to remind everybody that Naomi has a sprained fucking ankle? Nothing else important for now, so let's go back up and use the infirmary key. Looks like in their moment of triumph, they instantly forgot about Yuka's crying. Seriously, what the fuck? What the fuck are you doing, game? We open the infirmary and the game says, "Oh look, it's covered in blood." Scary? That is so stupid. Does everything have to be covered in blood in order to convey fear? Period blood. Now that's scary, now that I think about it. Is there a horror game or movie that mentions and revolves around the horrors around that? Let me know. Search the infirmary for more scary words. Shelf mentions alcohol, nothing weird. We go to the bed and apparently leave Yuka in danger or whatever. This is unbelievably fucking stupid. You just heard someone crying for help and you're like, okay, let's just lie in bed for a bit. Seiko bandages Naomi's ankle and talks like everything is a-okay, still ignoring Yuka's crying. Game, what the fuck are you doing? Naomi's on the left side of the bed and Seiko is on the right, but for some stupid fucking reason, the image here is that Naomi's on the right with her back turned to Seiko, while Seiko is on the left. How does anyone miss something so fucking obvious that the directions are completely fucking wrong? And what's the deal with Naomi having her back turned against Seiko? Nobody talks like that. It's considered a dick move if you talk to someone while you have your back turned against them. What is this game? What is this stupid fucking game? Why is the basics of being basically normal not applicable in this stupid crappy game? By the way, did you forget about the one screaming for help? Hello, Yuka? What the fuck is with this game? They talk about Naomi's crush at Satoshi and Seiko perving out on Naomi's posterior for the billionth time, which she takes that as a compliment. How old are these people again? And the game finally remembers that Yuka was crying for help. Well, fuck! How much of a dead fucking corpse do you have to be to remember a girl screaming for help? twice. Would have made much more sense if they never heard Yuka crying in the girls' lavatory and instead heard it for the first time in the infirmary while they were talking or once they were done talking. The main and only reason for them for going to the infirmary is obviously because of the sprained fucking ankle, which has already been established since the fucking beginning. So there was no need for Yuka's crying to be included in the first place. This game sucks in writing. This game is the go-to on how not to, on not what to write, not to aspire to be, but somehow people bought this shit. People bought this shit with their own money. They say money talks. That would explain the countless garbage we have right now. Was their money gagged in the mouth when they bought this? Seiko goes to look for Yuka finally while Naomi is alone with her thoughts. Not at all important, but Naomi remembers Satoshi accidentally holding her chest, and to her is considered a good memory. The fuck? We can now move and the candle's out, which means no save point, which means we have to watch all that horseshit dialogue cutscene with Seiko again if we die suddenly. Let's hope you immediately save when you entered here because there's no going back. You can't skip the fucking cutscenes. There is an option to save and quit. What kind of sadistic son of a bitch made that decision? Why would I want to save and quit? Why can't I just save? Or better yet, why can't I just skip the fucking cutscenes? Great game design! If I had a box of matches and instead of lighting the candle, since we have a box of matches, you know, a thing that when struck properly creates a flame that can light a fucking candle, we can't do that. We try to go out but the door is locked. How can it be locked if we're on the inside? That doesn't make sense. Didn't we have the infirmary key? It turns out, shocker, a hidden force is holding the door in place. Oh, spooky. We hear a laugh, then a voice interact with the door again to somehow find that it's entangled with hair. Walk around some more to trigger something. Standing on the correct tile, suddenly a very not scary ghost appears before us. This stupid minigame is trial and error. Holes appear before you without any warning. No one can know beforehand that the holes would appear here or there. It hinders your path and appears in the most bullshit places. The ghost will damage you if you get touched. I hope you liked watching that cutscene because we're doing it again. But there's a skip button on the PC version. Yeah, but I didn't play the PC version. I played the PSP version. I don't give a shit about what improvements the PC version has. I'm reviewing the PSP one, which everyone knows, which everyone played. This is what they all played back then, and this is what they all praised back then as well. I also heard that the PC version has removed CG cutscenes. Wow, improvement! This is what you call improvement? Are you serious? Did the game brainwash everybody into thinking that it was any good at all? It's because you had a physical copy that you couldn't bring yourself to hate the thing that you yourself bought with your own money. I bought this. I will stand by my purchase of this game. I will only look at whatever is considered good to me, even though the game is constantly insulting my intelligence. This feels like a toxic relationship and it needs to stop. Nostalgia can be so poisonous. Even if you can skip the cutscenes, the writing is still awful and garbage filled with stupid fucking dialogue. By the way, if you die here, you get a wrong end. Wrong ends are just a bunch of words that say how these characters die in the most quote-unquote horrific way possible. The wrong ends would have been worth it if there were some accompanying visuals to go with the not scary dialogue, but here, in this wrong end, there's only nothing, just not scary dialogue and voice acting. I don't consider the stupid face as accompanying visual. We never see what happens to Naomi, just a stupid fucking face. Who wants that? This is what we waited for? If the writing is bad, at least let the player have something scary to look at, but no, it's also unappealing, anticlimactic, and you just wonder whether if it's actually worth it to get every wrong end. It's also fucking slow, like we get it, we got the wrong end, we're dead, can we fucking move on already? This is like Castlevania Symphony of the Night's game over screen. I hate that shit. You do the stupid minigame again. Once you baited the ghost to where she can't reach you, you try to burn the hair with the box of matches, but the game complains that it's not enough. Then you suddenly remember that there was alcohol there. Retrieve it, burn the hair, and finally leave the infirmary. That was actually really good. I say this unironically, but great game design. There was no way a simple match is enough to burn the hair, let alone ghost hair. Since we were able to explore the infirmary first, the game mentioned that the alcohol before this whole ghost attack happened. You can miss it if you weren't paying attention, or if you just, didn't bother to check what was in the infirmary. I like that you had to think on your feet with this. It's just stupid that the very ghost responsible for the holes is unable to hover over them. What a stupid fucking ghost. I think it would be better if the infirmary was slowly being covered in dark aura. First starting on the walls, remove the stupid holes appearing on the ground. It gives players incentive to search the infirmary for a way out. If you're too slow, then the infirmary and Naomi are swallowed by the dark aura. If you succeed, then you succeed. Much better than the stupid fucking ghost making holes in the ground and being stuck with said holes. What an asshole. We get out of there and run all the way to the third floor hallway. I guess whatever Seiko did has miraculously healed Naomi's sprained ankle. This writing is unbelievably dumb that they managed to forget about what they wrote just a minute ago, remember it for a second, then forget about it again. Although I can answer that with adrenaline, but is that true? Is adrenaline enough to make someone with a sprained ankle run? The answer is, amazingly, yes. I did not know that. You make me not look like an idiot. But it's bullshit if you say that Naomi's full of adrenaline since the very beginning of the game. We go in the boys' room, but it's denied and Naomi shows no reaction to that at all. Why? We go in the girls' room and see something slightly open in the cubicle even though Naomi says that the inside is locked, but she somehow managed to open it. It's not locked, then it's locked, then it's not. Can someone explain that shit? We open it and see Seiko hanging around. Naomi goes ballistic and wastes a lot of time by screaming instead of actually helping Seiko while in distress. It's understandable she'd be freaking out, but come on, move it. When people panic, they can get adrenaline rush and do whatever they can to save someone. Naomi just looks like an idiot through and through. Naomi asks, why? Even though Seiko is hanged and she obviously can't answer because of the rope around her neck. Stop asking stupid questions and save her, you fuck. When you interact with Seiko, it strangles her further. Do it the third time and she finally dies, and we are greeted with this hilarious image of her death. Naomi once again goes ballistic. She asks, why would you hang yourself? Which is immediately contradicted by not having a simple platform inside the cubicle. Naomi says it's herself. I need a platform, something for her to stand on. She could not hang herself. Something or someone else did it to her. What's stupid is that Naomi insists that Seiko did this to herself even though there is evidence or lack thereof that immediately contradicts her claim, which by the way was brought up and contradicted by herself. It's obvious that the game wants the player to believe that Seiko hung herself for that stupid fucking twist later on in the game. I like that if you interacted with Seiko, the more she gets strangled. What I do think is stupid is the locking and unlocking of the door. Just leave it unlocked and for fuck's sake stop just yelling all the time like an idiot. Instead of Naomi deceiving the player into thinking that Seiko hung herself even though she immediately contradicted herself, thus making her the stupidest being to ever exist and also a fucking liar, she should have said who did this and then think that maybe the ghost did it. Makes a lot more sense. Yet this game keeps on insisting that Seiko did this to herself even though it's completely and visibly wrong on all levels. This type of lie is such a lazy way to make just so they can have their stupid twist later on in that chapter. Spoiler redacted for now. Great writing. I have a lot more to say on that stupid twist later on in a future video. Child spirits appear and Naomi can't move. This image is so dumb. We can see that they are behind Naomi, but here we see that one of them is in front of her. This just goes to show that Corpse Spider doesn't know how directions work or doesn't give a shit at all. Scissors somehow appear on Naomi's hand. It seems to imply that the child spirits could control people and make them commit suicide, which again, what were they waiting for? Why didn't they kill them from the very beginning? That's a wrong end, by the way. We do this shit all over again. Well, I do. Somehow if we go back to the beginning on where chairs block the path instead of fucking rubble, we find something important. How the hell is anyone supposed to know to go back to that place? It was blocked by chairs. Why would anybody think to go back to a place that was already established to be a dead end? That makes no fucking sense. What in the hell is this stupid game design? We see a blue spirit that says, one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. If you should die here, you'll experience the pain you felt at the moment of death for all eternity. Oh no, not again. Welcome to another segment called This is Dumb, where we, yeah, whatever. You'll experience the pain you felt at the moment of death for all eternity. He doesn't sound like someone experiencing the moment of death. This is dumb. For all eternity? Won't you get used to that? You'd probably be numb to that pain after all this time. This is dumb. Why were we casually talking to the other ghosts from before? Shouldn't they be in pain? This is dumb. Why do they appear then disappear whenever they feel like it? Like, where do they go? Can they just turn invisible? Is there a ghost cafeteria for them to hang out? This is dumb. Why were their child spirits laughing? Shouldn't they be crying due to the immense pain of being unable to die and experiencing the moment of their death instead? This is dumb. Why do child spirits have bodies while the blue and red spirits are just flames? Were there not enough sprites and assets to work with? Did they run out of time? Who made the assets? Whoever made the assets, couldn't they have made more instead of a generic flame? What's with this favoritism? This is dumb! Fuck this segment. After talking to that asshole, it leaves an unknown key to unlock Classroom 3A. Don't know why. We enter Classroom 3A, interact with the body to see a message that says, "Whatever you do, don't look at the newspaper." We inspect the newspaper anyway like the idiots that we are, to find out more about the school and disappearances of children. Again. Take note that Seiko says that she heard about this once before, and Naomi says, "It did happen long before we were born." Oh my god, I really want to talk about the ending, but I'm getting ahead of myself. They hear the door lock and we can't open it. For some stupid reason, we go back to the newspaper again, even though the corpse left behind a message that we shouldn't read it. But we do it anyway because fuck, I don't know. The newspaper says you will never leave this room, which is entirely stupid because we were able to leave this room by doing dumb shit and following a walkthrough. We inspect the corpse again to hear them sob, try the door, then walk around like a dumbass until the game feels like it to show a cutscene. We walk around again to find the door open by itself. Also, the name tag is now available to loot for some reason. It's stupid, it's dumb, it's fucking stupidly dumb. It would have been better if after interacting with the newspaper and corpse once, it is enough to trigger the cutscene, then open the door. Also, the name tag is available to loot from the get-go. What the game did was waste everyone's time. We get out, Seiko realizes that our paper doll scrap is gone. We do the thing in the infirmary again because this game is designed so stupid and inconvenient. It wastes so much time. We get out of there and move up to see Seiko. They get into an argument because the game wants drama now. The game gives us two options: "I'm sorry" and "just leave me alone," which have the same result, so it's stupidly pointless. Great writing. We get this hilarious sobbing of Seiko. We can now use Seiko, thank fuck, for 5 seconds. Oh, for fuck's sake. The game gives us the option to follow or not to follow the voice. Why do that when the game won't progress at all if you don't follow the voice? Just remove that stupid choice altogether. If there are choices that stop the progress of a game, why would anyone ever choose to decline to further the story? This is stupid. Just make it a damn cutscene. After reading through more dumb dialogue, we are again at the 3rd floor hallway. We enjoy through the same cutscene we saw from before. Oh joy. Instead of helping Seiko in strangling herself quicker, we instead go out to look for something for her to stand on. We find a conveniently placed bucket outside with unidentifiable meat crawling with maggots. Huh? She pours out whatever is inside the bucket, but somehow maggots found their way onto Naomi's hands and skirt. How did she pour them? Did she pour it in her direction? Shouldn't you pour it away from you? How did the maggots even get there if she poured it away from her? This is unbelievably fucking stupid, and I can't believe something as simple as pouring shit out is able to piss me the fuck off. We retrieve the bucket for Seiko only to find that she's already dead. Naomi goes ballistic again. For the millionth time. This is so tiring. It's so fucking exhausting. Also, what is it with this game always flashing that bright light? It's annoying. The sound effects suck ass. It's always super loud compared to the music, which is barely heard. The music always starts with that stupid why can't the music just fade out, pause, then fade back in instead of always repeating it again from the start after an event finishes? I had all the settings to 100%, so don't tell me that I had the sound volume turned all the way up and the music volume all the way down. And that's Chapter 1. I didn't even go in depth on why their dialogue is so stupid. And there's still 4 more chapters to go. This one chapter has so many fuck-ups that I can't believe it managed to stay alive after all this time. Countlessly being released in every platform conceivable. I'm surprised there isn't a Tiger Risk game or Virtual Boy version of it. Corpse Party is like a cockroach. It just won't die. This is like the evolution thing. I'm a dinosaur and I'm gonna one day die from a meteor hitting Earth or whatever, and this game will outlive me for sure. What the hell is with the ghosts? They don't kill you immediately and just wait for some reason. Isn't the whole point of putting them there was to kill them to get their souls or something? Vengeful my ass. Why is it taking vengeance upon the innocent? Besides, how is anybody from the outside world supposed to inform others if the people can't get out of the haunted school in the first place? How can we save you if you keep killing us, you fucks? Look in other media, there are established ghosts that can only haunt a room. Take for example Hanako-san, the toilet ghost. To summon Hanako-san, it is often said that individuals must enter a girl's toilet, usually on the 3rd floor of a school, knock 3 times on the 3rd stall, and ask if Hanako is present. If Hanako is there, then she will reply with some variation of, "Yes, I am." Depending on the story, the individual may then witness the appearance of a bloody or ghostly hand. The hand or Hanako-san herself may pull the individual into the toilet, which may lead to hell, or the individual may be eaten by a 3-headed lizard who claims that the individual is invading Hanako's privacy. How about another ghost, Akamanto? The ghost will ask the occupant of a toilet a question. In some versions, he will ask if they want a red paper or blue paper, a red cloak or blue cloak, or as a red cape or blue cape. Choosing either option will result in the individual being killed. So the individual must ignore the spirit, run away, or reject both options in order to survive. So the ghosts have their mystery established, what they do and how to deal with them. To Hanako-san, don't bother her. Akamanto, ignore them and run away. I think it would make sense if the ghosts in Corpse Party cannot harm the victims, but they can haunt them and psychologically torture them. Throw that stupid darkening bullshit out the window. Haunt the victims and manipulate them into killing the others. Isn't that way more scary than stupid out of nowhere ghost powers suddenly remembering that they already have the power to kill them in the first place? If someone has a strong enough will to resist the haunting, then have them either starve to death or go all Hannibal Lecter on the others. God damn, what is this game thinking? It's only thinking on what scary words to use. What a lazy piece of garbage writing. There's a new term I like to call these types of writing. I call it raccoon writing. Since raccoons always rummage through garbage and get whatever they can to survive, this game probably does the same thing. Corpse Party ghosts are inconsistent. They appear and disappear whenever they feel like it. Don't really do anything except fail in scaring the player. Then after doing all the tedious tasks of running around in school like a headless chicken, they just kill them when they feel like it, when the plot calls for it. If someone brings up the fact that the paper doll scrap is actually protecting them from harm, then explain why the wrong ends keep happening. I understand Seiko dying because she lost her paper doll scrap, but Naomi had hers and was ganged up by the child spares and controlled her to kill herself with scissors. The paper doll scrap never protected Naomi from anything. Also, the infirmary, she never lost her paper doll scrap there, but she can get killed by the ghost in the infirmary. How do you explain that? Ayumi had her paper doll scrap. Really? When did she get it? Sure, in chapter 5. How convenient is it that Ayumi of all people discovers Naomi's paper doll scrap? I would also like to mention that in that part, the game is playing triumphant music even though Ayumi was blaming Yoshiki for letting her go back here in this haunted school, even after Ayumi just made that stupid speech about wanting to save everyone. Triumphant. She's so inconsistent, but she's the most entertaining. Wait, I got lost a bit. If Ayumi had her paper doll scrap, then what's stopping the vengeful ghost from killing Naomi? What about the darkening? Why isn't the darkening have a faster effect on Seiko? Since I brought up the darkening, why is Ayumi continually experiencing the darkening when she had her paper doll scrap on her this entire time? Speaking of Naomi, why was the darkening able to affect her to the point of killing someone? I thought the paper doll scrap protected her. What part of this is considered a protection? Protection from what exactly? Why isn't Seiko, the one who lost her paper doll scrap, not affected at all by the darkening? And Naomi, the one who has her paper doll scrap, affected by it. There's also chapter 2 where we control Miss Yue and she gets literally hurt by a red flame spirit. So how does the paper doll scrap protect anyone from anything again? Are you fucking kidding me? You can make mini earthquakes and don't use that to destroy the school that is keeping you and all of these stupid fucking spirits in? What the fuck is this game smoking? I think it's also dumb that the paper doll scrap allegedly protects them from ghosts. It's like the ghosts are saying, hey, I want to shoot you, but here's a bulletproof vest for you to wear. Asshole! Why would the ghost give them something that protects them from the ghost that wants to kill them in the first place? I would have accepted it if the paper doll scrap was simply a part of the ritual to teleport them to the school and back, but it also serves as protection. I'm fucking getting ahead of myself. So yeah, Corpse Party ghosts are stupid, the characters are stupid, the game design is amazingly stupid, the gameplay is stupid, the writing is absolutely fucking garbage level stupid, the game itself is fucking stupid. What I'm trying to say is, this game sucks. Corpse Party Book of Shadows actually improved the game more. Okay, what's it about? Sachiko Shinozaki? Huh? Sends the Kisaragi Academy back in time, erasing their memories except for Satoshi Machida. Why him? He tries in vain to dissuade his classmate from performing the magical ritual, but he joins them since he doesn't want to let them go alone. It's also a point-and-click game. This is insane. Corpse Party is stupid, I will never deny that, but holy shit! Book of Shadows set a new low bar. Point-and-click? Are you kidding me? It looks fucking slow. Why do we have to see each room that we go to? Isn't that fucking boring and tedious to watch? Satoshi of all people gets to retain his memories. Why him? Why not Ayumi? She's the one that actually has done a lot in this game and she gets nothing? Book of Shadows sounds like awful garbage. I can't wait to play it. Now that I think about it, Ayumi and Sachiko have the same last name. That's understandable since people that have the same last name don't always have to be actual. You piece of, are you fucking kidding me? Ayumi is actually related to Sachiko? She is the granddaughter of Yoshie Shinozaki and Seiji, the younger twin sister of Sachi and the grandniece of Makina, the second cousin once removed of Hinoe and Ayumi. Why hasn't anybody at least brought it up in the game and asked, hey Ayumi, you got got the same last name as the ghost that wants to kill us. Any idea how you're related? Not really. That simple acknowledgement is actually enough to just hand wave it away. Ayumi's not sure if she's related, but at least she acknowledged it. My god, this game sucks. What's funny is that I started out as someone who wanted to understand this game and why so many people love it. I didn't understand any of it and it pissed me off. When I saw that the game had so much potential, so much of the fuck-ups that could be fixed, it pissed me even more, and it felt like there was no plan in the writing, was just write anything that sounds scary. It's even worse when players are forced to fill in the plot holes themselves in order for them to make sense of this game's story. While I was thinking of so many things that the game could have done right, I got pissed off again that they wasted so much potential. I became a, no joke, fan of this series, and it pisses me off that they just write these characters like a bunch of fucking morons with whatever is convenient to the plot. So yeah, I don't know when the next Asinine analysis will come out. Analyzing a game on what it did wrong and how it could have done right is actually, believe it or not, really hard to do. I hope I entertained you all. That's really the only goal of this video. Have a wonderful day, everybody.